Some people pump iron. Other people pump gas. Well, I pump insulin. Today, I, Hayley Keller, am going to show you how to change an insulin pump. You may be asking yourselves, why would I need to know this? Well, over 100 million people have diabetes in the world, and over 40,000 people under the age of 18 are diagnosed every year in the United States. And it's not caused by sugar, weight, or even your spelling test score. So any of you someday could be affected by this. So first, we're going to show you how to prime the pump. Second, we're going to show you how to pinch, and then finally, keep pumping. First, I'm going to show you the supplies I'm going to use today. First, I'm going to call something called a PDM, or a Personal Diabetes Manager. Second, we have a new sealed pod. Next, we have something called Skin Tack, which is like a sticky liquid that helps it stay on. And last, I'm going to use 2 alcohol wipes. And most importantly, I'm going to use something called insulin, which is what we're going to be putting into the pod. And last, I forgot. I need a type 1 diabetic. Any volunteers? Oh, shucks. Well, I guess I'm going to have to do it since I'm the only one. That's okay. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to have to deactivate my pod I already have on. So what I'm going to be doing is basically turning this one off so that I can put on a new one. So now that it's deactivated, we're going to start with our new pod, which this one can be removed. I'll remove it in just a second. But so next, this is a new sealed pod. So this pump can be thrown away, and I have to use a new one every 3 days. So we're going to open this up, just like this one. And also what comes with it is a cap and a syringe. So we're just going to screw those together. And this is how we're going to put the insulin into the pod. So this is insulin, and this is 1,000 units of insulin, and I'm only going to use 150. So I draw it up, and I figure out how much insulin I need based on how much I need every 3 days. So if I need 50 every day, how much would I need in 3 days? Does anybody know? Yeah? 150. 150. So that's how much I'm going to be putting in today, okay? If I can get it drawn up. And the reason I have to be super careful about how much, this is 1,000 units, and this is 3 days. You guys see how much little that is? It's not very much at all. So to make sure it's really accurate in the pod. Next, really slow and steadily, I'm going to insert it into this little spot. So none leaks out and no bubbles are put in it. You hear that beeps? That means the pod and the PDM are listening to each other now. So the PDM and this work on Bluetooth. So the coolest thing about them is you don't need a tube in between the two. Now the next step is called priming, which what's going to happen is the insulin I just put in a little spot in here is going to be moved up into the tube of the pump. While we're doing that, I'm going to choose another spot on my body to put this. So with the alcohol wipes, I'm going to open those up. And today I'm going to put it on my leg. So why we clean our site is to make sure that your body has oil on it. And so to make sure the pod stays clean and that nothing is infected, we clean it. You can see, even though I shower and we clean, our body is still going to be really dirty. And the priming takes just about a minute. Make sure it's nice and clean, and then we'll make sure it's nice and dry. So that's all trash. As you can see on here, it's loading. It's almost done priming. And we'll hit another beep in a second. Our next step is going to be to put on something called Skin Tack, which is an extra step. And because I'm a cross-country runner, I sweat every single day. So to make sure it stays on for a total of 3 days, I put on extra sticky. So we're going to remove something called a needle cap, which keeps the pump dry while I'm priming. And then we're peeling off something called, kind of like a Band-Aid, to make sure it stays, sticky part stays sticky. So I'm going to put on just a light coat of this on the pod. Like that. And then we'll make sure it's nice and dry. And then our next part is we're going to pinch. So after we place on the pod, it can be put on the arms, the legs, my stomach, my back of my hips, anywhere. Then we're gonna make sure it's nice and flat and sticking to the skin. As soon as it's stuck, we are ready. And now this is my favorite part about the pod. All we have to do to make sure the needle goes in and the cannula is push of a button. So when I hit start, what's gonna happen is it's gonna put in a little needle and then it's gonna put on a tube over it called a cannula and retract the needle. So then so over the few days, it doesn't hurt as bad. And then you can hear about 7 clicks, it's gonna go in. So 1, 2. Do you hear that? And we're done! Our pump is in. So the next step is our pod is just gonna make sure that you did not hear that sound. It's really important that I have to put on a new one. So we're gonna say, yes, it did work. So for over 8 years, I have been using the Omnipod, and it has saved me over thousands of injections. So until there's a cure, I plan to prime, pinch, and pump keep on pumping, and for the rest of my life. Thank you guys for listening. This is the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade class of DeMar Elementary School.